Um, our next move for this new administration, what are we looking for? And how do we get it? So, started off with you, Sledge. What is the number one thing that you want out of this new administration? You're going to have your wish list.
Whether it's Trump or Biden, right? Just in general.
Yes, for the next 4 years.
What I would like to see, first and foremost, is a system put in place to where more minorities are put in position to where they have access, same financial access to grow their businesses. I would like to see more equality in pay for Black men and Black women, and if you want to take a step further, just women in general, right? Because I have daughters that I'm raising. I also would like to see police reform, and those are things that can, in the way that Black men is being policed in this country. So those are things within the first 90 days I feel like can be addressed. That's what I would like to see. I know Doc had made a statement. She said it doesn't matter who's in power, the system is racist, and it's built against us. And I believe that to be so. So if that's the case, whoever does get in power, I would like to see them put us at an equal. I'm not telling them to give us favoritism. I'm not telling them to give us a handout. And that's the misconception that a lot of people have about those that, are Democrats or, believe in a fair system. They feel like we are all looking for handouts. No, we're not looking for handouts. We're looking for what is rightfully ours as a citizen of the United States. Same treatment a white man gets, we are entitled to that same treatment because we put into the system just as much as they done, maybe more.
I want black privilege. That's what I want.
You want black privilege. I just want the privilege that the Constitution deemed me to have as a man. Before they said I wasn't even a man, so now they finally decided to recognize us as such, so that's what I would like to see, just equality across the lines, so that my children, when they get of age, or when they present themselves at a bank, they are given the same respect as a white man coming to get a loan and not be looked at as a beggar. So that's what I'd like to see in the first 90 days.
Doc, what's your number one thing that you want? I said one, but Sledge said 5 because Sledge talks about what he does.
I speak for the people. The voice of the people. Go ahead.
The voice is of the peoples.
What would I love to see in a perfect world?
What's your number one priority item that you want to see?
A better healthcare system. It would be lovely if we all, as supposedly first world country, we're supposed to have access to free healthcare. The healthcare system is horrible.
Spoken like a medical professional.
Exactly. No, but I agree. I agree. It can be done. So that's another thing where, the profit motive is great. We're all capitalists here, but it doesn't belong in everything. All right. Anyway, that's a separate conversation. So you want a better healthcare system. Christmas. What's your top item? Just one.
I have several. So I want to see.
Come on, Sledge X.
So I want to see some type of debt relief for, your average family and, because it's so much bad systems with the debt, right?
What kind of debt we're talking? We're talking school loans or just
multifaceted, okay? Then you got the payday loans, this, that. Then education. I want to see a lot of funding for education, even for people that's already in the workplace that may need to, restructure their careers or go into another avenue. Also, business, more funding for minorities to level the playing field. And lastly, with
Ooh, you got a whole long list.
Accountability with just the police, but even Congress people and senators. We need better accountability. They need to answer and be accountable. That's it.
That's it? Just those 7? Okay, gotcha.
Well, you
Rima.
can't count tonight, huh?
Rima, what's your one or whoever? Hey, everybody else been breaking the rules.
Well,
Your priority item.
been about 30 things said, so actually what was important to me was already said. But my biggest thing, especially what I was listening to during the debates and everything, is how they plan to address, the things put in place in terms of the systematic oppression and police reform. I'm a mother of a young Black boy. That's the thing that keeps me up at night, especially. And of course, education as well. It's so expensive. If you don't come from a family with a trust fund, or if you don't throw a football, just to pay for college.
Start working on his jump shots.
So those are the things that are important to me as a mother of 3 young children.
Especially your video gone. You there?
Yes, I'm still here. Hold on.
All right. It's your turn.
Okay, all right. I want. Let me tell you what I want.
Blackout in Dubai.
Yeah.
All right.
On a blackout thing. Yeah, man. I want Wani to leave my check signed at the door on the way out. Right? No, I'm just joking. I want to see the next leader. Seriously now. Putting plans in place to bring the country get together so we can help and repair and fix and solve this coronavirus problem. We need everybody on one page. We need everybody that is thinking about the other person, and we need everybody to cooperate so we can get this virus out of here. So in short, I want the next leader to be able to show some sign that he's willing to bring the country together so we can work together to fix this coronavirus problem. Those
are all very good points. I won't add to that. I kind of co-sign all of that. The thing that and this is not really something we can't really answer on the show here, and we have to understand like how these things get accomplished. So everything that Willie set out right now, there are going to be major roadblocks to getting it done. And we have to understand that. So, for example, let me tell you what's going to happen now. One of the good things that came out of, obviously the best thing that came out of last night is it looks like Biden is going to win and get Trump out of the White House. The not good thing about last night, is that it looks like the Senate is going to remain within Republican hands. So what does that mean? It means they're going to cock block him at every step, and you're not going to let him do a thing. And that is by strategy. So, and just going back into recent history, in 2008, with the big exuberance of Obama getting elected, the first Black president, everybody happy. People talking about the Republicans may not win anything again. Democrats had 60 seats in the Senate, big, advantages in the House. And so, literally, I saw a documentary on this the other day. The night of Obama's inauguration, what happened? You had Mitch McConnell and a bunch of Republican leaders who got together and said, what we're going to do, we're going to be a fly in the ointment. We're going to block every single thing that he does. Again, it's 2008. We're in the middle of the biggest recession since the Great Depression. All the things that needed to get done to get the country going again, they just said, nope, not doing it. We don't care. We're just not going to help lift a finger. And so what's going to happen is going to frustrate the hell out of people. And so all those people who are so excited about Obama, we're going to do this, this, and that, because he didn't have the support of enough people within the Senate, he couldn't get anything done. So then what happened? You get to 2010, the midterm elections, and people were pissed off. They didn't get their 40 acres and a mule. They didn't get all this stuff within those 2 years. So they didn't show up to vote in 2010. Obama lost the House. And basically from then on, for the next 6 years, he got nothing done legislatively. So this is what's going to happen now. Republicans, as pissed off as they are that their president may not be in power anymore, they are going to obstruct every single thing. And so I think it's for one, so all the things we talked about with healthcare and all this stuff, it's not going to happen with the Republican Senate. So we can want it, but and so what ends up happening is we say, okay, well, Biden didn't get that done. You know what I mean? So we have to be aware of that and realize, you know, kind of, you know, where the obstacles are.
Can you name me a president that was that did not have the majority in the Senate, but that was still able to accomplish and bring people together on both sides of the aisle? Can you name me one of the last presidents that was able to do that?
Johnson.
So I'll say, Bill Clinton. I mean, that's the first one that comes to mind. He got a whole lot done working with Republicans. With that said, I believe anything can be accomplished once there is motivation from both sides to get it accomplished. One of the no, hold on. So, a lot has changed since, you know, Clinton was president back in the 90s. And a big part of it is the media landscape, right? And so with that said, that was a time where we kind of could all agree on the same set of facts. Now you can have a completely different set of facts from somebody else. So it's more difficult to do it now. So, and our political climate is a lot more polarized now, where, you know, back then, Democrats and Republicans, they would go hang out together on the weekends or whatever. That shit don't happen anymore. You know, so because the Congress is extremely divided. They have their little gerrymander districts where they don't need to work with anybody from the other side, because they've carved out who they want their voters to be. So they're only speaking to their supporters. So they don't have to compromise. You know, so the landscape is just a lot more difficult in order to compromise. Yes, it happened in the past. Things have just changed. So we'll see. But you know, that is the obstacle that we face. You know, just a very fractured, divided
theory on that
country. What's your theory, Mr. Haitian?
So, if we go back even on the simplest of basis in our Caribbean community, there's so many things and so many people that are divided amongst each other. This person don't like that person. This group is competing with that. And so many things, right, that is going wrong within just this Houston Caribbean community.
Not familiar with it.
I feel like with the right understanding and right spirit, you have to understand that people are different, and you have to meet them where they are in their difference. Right now, what we see in this country is damn near 50-50 down the line split. Biden is not winning by a landslide. He is barely winning this election. Although I feel like he is going to win it, he's barely doing it. So that means that there has to be, whoever the leader is, has to make concessions for the other side, because their voice matters too. So if the leader that's in office comes at it with the perspective of, okay, I'm a Democrat, But you know what? 50% of the country didn't agree with Democratic policies. Although I'm a Democratic or Republican president, I have to sit down with the other side and see what it is that their base wants, right?
Trump won't do that. I'm gonna tell you that
There
now.
has to be leadership in place that's able to do that. I feel that Biden has the potential to be able to do that because he is part of the old guard. He was part of them when they used to all drink together and go out golfing and chasing women. They were all doing that together, right? So a lot of them are still there as the good old boy network. So there's a potential for him to be able to do that. Now, if Trump becomes president, what Trump has to realize is
Trump
that
don't give up.
I know he doesn't, but what he does have to realize, right, if he wants to accomplish things that he wants to accomplish, is that there's people out there that does not like his policies or like what he's about. There has to be concessions from the Republican side as well to address that for the country. Will that happen? Most likely not, because Trump really don't give a fuck about a lot of shit, you know, but that is the mindset that has to be for this country to advance and move forward. Can it be done? Yes. Will it be done? We don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with all of that. And you're 100% right in that Biden comes from that era. He comes from that era where they used to hang out and drink together. You know, one of his best friends was John McCain, right? Polar opposites, you know, politically, but that was his boy. They were good friends.
I mean, look at John Lewis passing all the voting rights. He was able to go across the aisle and bring people over for a good cause. It's like people have to remember what it is that makes us similar. We have to remember what it is that makes us all Caribbean, right?
Right. So, you know, I mean, and everything that Biden has been, I'll say what's going to get Biden into trouble, assuming that he wins, yes. And he's been talking, watching his stump speeches, you know, he said, I'm running as a Democrat, but I will be an American president. I'll be your president if you voted for me or if you didn't vote for me. He says that all the time. So where he's going to get in trouble, that outreach is going to get them in trouble with Democrats because they gave Obama hell for that. So Obama, you know, again, he came in and he learned as he went along. He figured that because he had so much support that they would want to work with him. And so he tried to extend his olive branch to reach out across the aisle to try and work with them.
Obama was a black man, though.
But same political environment. Same political environment. So what happened is that's a lot of the reason why people didn't show up in 2010. It's like he's trying too much to be like them. So if he tried, because we've seen how cutthroat these Republicans are, who they really don't care about any truth. They don't care about what they said yesterday. This is today, and I believe something else today. They don't care. And so if he tries to reach out and work with them too much, it's going to get him in trouble with Democrats. So he's going to have to. That's a line he's going to have to toe.
Is that the Senate is going to be controlled by Republicans? So in his presidency, he has no choice but to reach out to them.
Sure. Yeah. He has to reach out to them. But if it gets to the point where it seems like he's making too many concessions for the right, it's going to get him in trouble. Just watch. We'll see.